Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video of the East Asia Grand Finals, the first ever Grand Final this year in Brawl Esports, and we have a little bit of surprise. We have ABC, who is Achapi, IC, and Kenji, up against Zeta Division. So ABC, if you guys missed it, they beat out Crazy Raccoon in the quarterfinals, which was a huge upset. I think 3 of the 4 quarterfinals were big upsets, so we don't normally see upsets in this region. So yeah, my predictions kind of went a little bit out the window. Well, I wasn't even awake early enough to make the predictions, but anyways, my predictions on my video didn't really catch on too well, but I did predict Zeta to win the whole monthly final, so hopefully I can at least get that right. So we see Kenji on the Kenji again. Draft just unfolded really quickly here. So in terms of what draft I like, considering it's open business, I don't really like Kaze too much in open business. I don't think that's the best pick. Spike is also Spike has got triple matchup here. Lou has a great matchup into the Frank. Kenji has an incredible matchup against both Mina and Frank. So I think ABC have the better composition here, personally, but who is just better in the draft, we'll have in gameplay, we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, I always find it so uncomfortable. Like, I don't get how Sitetampo plays like that every single time. His back must be kidding. I feel like I've been killing him. I must say that every single time I watch Sitetampo play. But I've been watching bits and bobs of the monthly final, mainly because it's been so early when it started. I think I watched ABC win that last game. I've not watched much Zeta Division. I didn't even watch much of the upset. Again, it starts so early for EU. Normally I just watch it like after, except for this grand final. So yeah, Zeta have been sweeping the floor with pretty much everyone so far, and they look very, very good. But Kenji on Kenji has looked really, really good, and Kaz just keeps saying it over and over again, but he does look exceptional. So a bit of an early super there from Kenji. Should have probably saved that, but yeah, in terms of zone time, I think Zeta have some good brawlers for the zone time. They've got 3 of them that can just rotate in over and over again. But I just get the feeling that with ABC's composition, like, they should shut down a lot of these a lot quicker, it seems. I think some of them should just sit on the zone. For example, like the Kenji could sit on the zone a bit better. Lou with Super could probably sit on the zone a bit better. Sitetampo is going quite big right now on the Frank. And yeah, that's looking like a Zeta win the first round. That just unfolded so quickly, I couldn't even comprehend what kind of went on with all the yapping. But yeah, Zeta just look a bit better at the moment. They're just holding that zone time that bit better. Yeah, they're not really scared of facing off against the counters. They know they can just run up on the zone. And to be fair, I don't think ABC really have like a wall break. A wall break would have been good into this. So what they need is, they need more of a shutdown, I believe. It's hard to shut down a Frank in this meta, it feels, even though Frank again does get countered by the Lou, does get countered by the Kenji. If Frank keeps the walls open, he's still gonna cook, right? He's still gonna cook. So again, Kenji needs to find more optimal matchups. I think he should just rush into the Mina as much as possible here. Let his teammates deal with everything else. I don't think he's gonna find a kill on the Frank. Yeah, there's no way. Okay, so also ABC are doing a much better job this time around. They're just sitting on the zone a bit more. I think they should just hold their supers as much as possible here. Kenji on the Frank. Yeah, there should be no matchup for Sitetampo. That's going to be the kill. Again, much better zone time here from ABC. It's going to be a good super from Batman, and he's going to be able to... Has he changed his name to Batman now? I love that. I love that. It's actually a much better name. But now this time around, Zeta can get control. Kenji's doing a good job for Sitetampo. Again, Kenji does, like, a lot of people say Kenji counters to Frank, but I think Frank, since the buffies, especially with the sponge star power, it's actually a lot harder for Kenji to fully counter the Frank. So again, Sitetampo's just sitting on his own. The hypercharge is just deleting everyone, and this is looking pretty much over. I think the big weakness here with ABC's draft is that they've got no one just to sit on the zone. There's just so much health on the side of Zeta. I mean, it's not fully over just yet, but it's not looking that strong from... I mean, Mina's going in like crazy here. Bro, Batman on the Mina is absolutely carrying it. I would have felt like Spike would have done a bit of a better job, considering he's got kind of triple matchup here, but yeah, it's just not looking too good from right now. 3 players alive for Zeta. There's just not enough damage to really take down that Frank. And yeah, they got completely overwhelmed that set. I mean, good draft from Zeta in the end. It felt like they just were running all over them with the Kaze getting pressure. They were just getting in and out of pressure with Kaze and Mina. And then Frank was just sitting on his own. So it seems to have had a fair strategy there. You see Yapimura in the background. But he's always supporting him. He's an absolute... he's a go. He's a go. Right. That's going to be first set. Let's jump into the next one. All right, guys, jumping into set number 2, we've got Bounty Layer Cake with the bans. I mean, I just can't get over how they went 3 aggressive brawlers in that last set and they managed to win. But you see a lot of assassins banned out here. Ali and Shade you've got to deal with, especially if the enemy has last pick. First pick, Mortis, Jean and Cordelius to respond, which is fairly decent. The only really true counter to a Mortis is really Spike, I think, in this meta. There's maybe a couple of others that can do okay into a Mortis. Like, I don't think Shelly is actually that big of a counter anymore. I mean, it still counters, but you know what I mean. Doesn't actually fully shut down the Mortis. Cordelius is pretty good because at least with Cordelius you can create pressure on a map like this with the jump gadget, etc. And Jean's just fairly resilient into a Mortis with knockback. So we go to Pierce, Ruffs, and the Mortis. So last pick, I mean, Thrower would be good into 2 of them, but yeah, Thrower is not the best choice into a Mortis. We're going to go with the Lily. I don't know why I didn't really think of that, considering there's a Ruffs and a Pierce. But the problem is here. We've got Ruffs and Pierce into Jean and Cord, which could be a big problem for ABC. But Lily has a good matchup into 2 of them as well. Mortis doesn't really have any good matchup, but it's still Mortis at the end of the day. I don't know. I think I would favor Zeta again here. In the last game, I liked ABC's comp a little bit more. It just looked like Lou wasn't really that comfortable of a shutdown for whatever reason. I guess, I don't know why Lou didn't really work there. I was a bit surprised. I thought it would have shut down the enemy team a lot better than it did. I don't know whether Achapi played it poorly. I don't know. I'll have to rewatch that one. But Lily's going to go hit on the Ruffs here. And I think she might actually get traded out. Okay, actually, no, they could deal with the Mortis. Quite fantastic, bro. I'm just a king jinxer at this point. Whatever team I say, I feel like I like their draft. They end up losing. But still, there's still some hope here for Zeta. Hypercharge already from IC. He's done a fantastic job to get it that early. And again, Lily's job here, I wouldn't even like play protection. I'll just go aggressive because you've got Cordelius to help with that. I feel like they kind of just left Achapi all alone there, but I guess they're going to get that kill anyways. Lily's going to find the double kill as well. Okay, well, it's looking great for ABC. I mean, I liked both compositions, but maybe the Cordelius into Mortis is really working. I think this game is pretty much cooked for Zeta. I think the Lily start was just too strong. I see there with the gadget as well, getting out. Yes, it's tough for Mortis to really do anything into these brawlers. I think he's got to play exceptionally well to make something work. Okay, Sitetampo just get the kill, but I don't really think there's a way. Oh, that was really sloppy from IC. Really sloppy. I don't think he needed to do that. But now there's only 2 stars in it. Yeah, they're really throwing this away. Now all the pressure. Hypercharge Lily though could get some good value. Gene Pull as well could get some good value. IC's getting weak. I mean, Zeta just needs to find 1 kill. And Hypercharge. Oh, this looks pretty much over. I think ABC need to go in now, but like before this Mortis cooks with Hypercharge. I mean, Kenji's going to hold his gadget for as long as possible. The pool's going to go in. They're not going to find the kill at all here. Hypercharge going in. That's actually going to be the kill onto Suzuku. And I think that is GG there. Wow. They left that very late. They left that very late. They should have won that one a lot more comfortably, it felt like. I don't know why it took them so long. We love the green screen there. But in the end, they do win, so it wasn't the end of the world. But yeah, I don't think Ruffs and Pierce are really finding much value. I think they should have been finding more value. I think Lily is just playing it so exceptionally well. I know Lily counters them, but they're doing a really, really good job here. So I think Lily's going to find it much more difficult this time. Yeah, so I think the first game, a lot of it was just literally down to Suzuku not grouping up. Against the Lily, you need to group up, right? If just for one moment you are alone, Lily will just kill you without hesitation, and it's just free. Like, there's nothing you can do against it as a Ruffs or really a Pierce. I know you got the knockback with Pierce, but that's just not enough to deal with a Lily. So you can see here, Sitetampo's trying to swap matchup here to go on the Lily, which is fair enough. This is what matchup you want. I know Lily can still deal with Mortis somewhat, but Sitetampo's playing it really well, making sure to dash in and out, get in his super. That's all he can really do. So this time around, Zeta are playing it a lot better. They're grouping up together. They're getting the right matchups. This time Sitetampo is going to go for... No. Okay, there's no point going for the Cord. I don't think Cord with mute. There's any chance that Mortis can really win that. Unless Cordelis really messes up. So you see here, super. I mean, I'll probably just... He's going to go out here. Hypercharge is looming. Yeah, there's just nothing that Lily could really do in that situation. They need to find 2 kills here, ABC. But they need to be careful that this game doesn't go out of sight. They can't feed many more kills if possible here. So Achapi with a pull. Yeah, let's wait for those sandbags to go down. We need to get sandbags out as quickly as possible here so Jean can get a clean connection. Lily hypercharge as well. Surely they're going to find a kill here. Missed hypercharge. This is not looking good for ABC this round. It's really not looking good. It's going to be another kill. Kenji's trying to get the mute onto Suzuku. Yeah, this is set over pretty much. I mean, great gene pull from Achapi there in the end. Unless Lily just does something absolutely magical, which I don't imagine. They need to find pretty much a team wipe here. Lily's going to go in. Yeah, she's going to go down. They do actually find 1 kill. Kind of close to the second. But it's just not enough. That was much more calculated from Zeta. So again here, like, they can... I think Lily missed a couple of supers, which probably backfired. I don't think the Mortis really got that much pressure for the majority of the game. I felt like ABC were maybe giving a bit too much respect to Zeta there, but at the same time, like, they're playing a lot better, pinching, making sure that ABC weren't getting many opportunities to really go in there. So a good thing about a Mortis or a Kaze or a Carl or a few more brawlers like that, like an Ali, I don't know, they can get the blue star pretty quickly, and that literally means the opposition are forced to make aggressive plays. Literally just getting that blue star can be so important. In a game mode like Bounty, you just see more and more blue star brawlers. So yeah, Lily's just farming super here. I was surprised. I think they're just gonna wait. Like, look how much supercharge here. They don't know that Lily's lurking. Lily's just waiting for that opportunity for one of them to run in. Okay, it looks like Sitetampo's going to go really weak, but already hypercharge farm just literally through sitting through a wall there. Sitetampo is weak. They need to put somebody in the shadow realm here to get more and more pressure. So Ruff's going to go into the shadow realm. Jean missed pull, which was a great chance to hit pull there. Considering Ruff's in the shadow realm, there's no sandbags. All they need is 1 kill onto, well, any of them. Batman would have been the safer pull, but it was missed. Hypercharge as well. This could be good, but he needs to wait to get his gadget as well, because if he uses hypercharge without gadget afterwards, he's not going to get out. And what's the point in that in Bounty, right? You need to make sure when you get a kill, you're getting out and staying alive. So again, it looks like they're not really rushing things. They could just go for a late swarm here, which would be good enough for the win. So 30 seconds left. They're going to go for the bounce shot here, which actually is going to leave Lily in a half decent position. Now the lead is in ABC's favor. I felt like there might... I mean, there's still a good kill, but there's still a lot of time for Zeta to come back here. Kenji puts Batman into the shadow realm. He's going to go very, very weak here. I think Zeta might have the chance to clutch up. 8 seconds left. Looks like we're going to try and make a run for it. If Batman gets super, this could be really bad. Icy's going to go in. The mute from Kenji. And wow, the set actually goes to ABC's favor. That was much more, like, way better calculated from ABC as well. I just love how every set both teams were making adjustments. You've seen how crazy it was in the first set for first round for ABC. Then Zeta played a lot more calculated, a lot more together. And then ABC made sure to do the same in the third round. Play a lot more carefully. Make sure they're not wasting any utility. And they win that one. So, yeah, ABC, Zeta, 1-1 right now. I'm 0 for 2 in draft predictions. Let's jump into the next one. All right, guys, jumping into set number 3, we've got Gem Grab, Death Cap, Trap. So this is the one map I don't have the most draft experience with because it's not in ranked, right? But it is, again, a very heavy assassin map. So Shade first pick. I'm surprised it didn't first pick the Mortis over the Shade. I would have definitely preferred Mortis over Shade in terms of drafting order, mainly because Shade can get countered out by wall breaks a bit more effectively. They go with a Tara. Tara can be pretty good into Shade because with Tara you can open up walls. Hypercharge can open up walls as well. And I'm a bit surprised if it didn't go for a mid here. Maybe they're going to plan to play without a mid, essentially, in this situation, because literally ABC have first picked Shade, which is, again, kind of crazy. So here, you kind of need a Mortis answer, but what is the Mortis answer? I would perhaps go like an Otis mid, perhaps. That's the only thing you can really go. Sandy mid. I mean, Sandy's good into Tara, but I don't, like, this is a really good Mortis matchup. Low DPS Shade, low DPS Sandy. I mean, you got to stun with Sandy, but still, if a good Mortis can just get in behind, I don't really see Sandy being the biggest problem to a Mortis. They need something surely to shut down this Mortis. Shelly, okay. They haven't really got a mid. They've got Sandy mid. I think I would probably... I mean, you can't really... I mean, Pierce would be good, but it's not good into the Shade, but it would be good into the other two brawlers. Could go with a Max for some pressure. Could go with... What other mids have you got? I mean, you could go with a Meeple here as well. Meeple would have a really good matchup. I would go with Meeple probably. Like, you've got knockback as well into Shade if needed. Stu. Okay, so I'll go with a Stu. I don't mind this Stu. I don't love it. I don't mind it. Because at least with Stu, you could break open walls, to be fair. Which would be a good counter to Sandy and the Shade. In terms of the draft, I think I'd still prefer Zetas. Mainly because... they've got a bit more pop-off potential, in my opinion, at least, especially with the Mortis hypercharge, with Tara hypercharge. But let's see how it goes. I think the drafting error there is not picking the Mortis. I think there's just more counters to Shade in draft, especially on this map, because there are a lot of walls on this map, but I think if you take away literally a couple of walls, like that left bottom wall there and the right bottom wall, Shade isn't really going to get the most value here. And again, I feel like they kind of messed up that they didn't go with a proper gem carry. I mean, they're going to go Shelly gem carry, it looks like. I don't know, this is a bit of a messy draft from ABC, but it can work because Mortis will feed a lot of Sandy supers. That might be the strategy here with ABC, right? Like, the thing that I say about Sandy, yes, Sandy can be weak in 1v1 against a lot of tanks, a lot of assassins, but those are the brawlers in the way Sandy likes facing off against, because you're going to get a lot of Sandy supers. So now ABC finally get control here. I think Sitetampo is in behind, but the camera's not showing it for whatever reason, because Batman is in a little bit of a pressure situation here. But yeah, ABC claw back some gems, but again, they need like a Sandy super, and they need Sandy on the Tara as much as possible. But Tara already has hypercharge super coming in, and Kenji's surely going to go down here. Mortis is going to pop off, and this is just... It's 2-3 of a Mortis matchup, considering... I mean, Mortis is so hard to counter in this meta, guys, especially in the pro meta. It really is. You guys are probably thinking like Otis and a few other brawlers, but still a Mortis can claw his way up. I think considering Mortis was picked early, they just surely should have found some better ways to counter him, in my opinion. Like Shade and Sandy, to me, that just, again, that screams no damage when you think about it, right? Like if Mortis is chaining back, sort of running into those two brawlers, if you're playing Mortis, are you really scared going into that in a 1 versus 2? No, you're not. But if that was like, I don't know, Otis and a Shade, you might want to think twice a little bit, because Otis's burst damage is pretty good. There's just not enough quick bursts from Shade or the Sandy, so Sandy's going to get a good stun in there. But again, like, yeah, if you're feeding Sandy super, but you're feeding Mortis super, and Mortis supers and hypercharges are going to be the thing that changes the game in gem grab. So you see here again, Suka's just going to go in. It doesn't really matter how many times he dies here. He just needs his super, and he just needs his hypercharge to turn around the game. So I think Batman goes for like a pull to try and break open the wall and to connect onto a Achapi, but I don't think he really manages to do both there. Looks like IC finally gets in behind here, but yeah, this is a really tough matchup for Shade. I forgot that Stu is a pretty good counter to Shade as well, mainly because you can break open the walls and get away from Shade if needs be with a super. So Shelly's going to sneak in here with super, but I don't think there's really enough power to do that much. Again, IC's doing a great job on the Shade. Suzuku's just spawn trapping Achapi right here. Hypercharge going to go down, and that's actually going to get the 5 gems back. Kenji is just barely going to stay alive, but yeah, Gadget's going to kill him. Suzuku's going to go out, and again, like, I actually really preferred Zeta's composition here. I think this one looked a lot clearer in my mind on who had the better draft. Like, there's just not a good mid for ABC. I think, again, in their mind, they probably thought, okay, they're not going to go a convenient mid here. We need to really try and defend ourselves against this Mortis. But, yeah, there's just no stopping it. There's no stopping it. Mortis just needs to get banned out and gem grab. There's a lot of brawlers you need to ban out. I think this is like the key thing you will see in esports this month is the assassins just running wild in the meta. So, yeah, that's going to be set number 3. Let's jump into the next one. All right, guys, now jumping into set number 4. We have Brawl Ball Sneaky Fields to Frank. First pick, Mortis to respond into that. What other Frank counters can you really go in this meta? You've got Primo and Sneaky Fields, but maybe a bit too aggressive, seeing as you got a Mortis as well. You need like a good shutdown in the mid. I mean, Chester could actually, I know I've got a big hatred for Chester right now, but Chester could be a good one. Poco with the Mortis, okay. I don't mind it too much here. It's not the worst pick in the world, but I still feel like they really lack the damage against this Frank. I think they could really double down with the damage here, considering it into Poco and Mortis. This is probably the draft I would be going for. So maybe I'm trying to think what other like high health brawlers. I mean, they could go the Kenji here into the Poco. They could go... Okay, we'll go with Cordelius, which is good into Mortis. And then they need a mid now, unless they go Cordelius mid. Who would you go? You need something high damage, surely. Or some brawler with good survivability. I mean, into a Poco as well. Would you go... I don't think they would go a Meeple. I don't think they're the type of team to go to Meeple. There is a Crow, but Crow's not the greatest into Poco all the time because of a gadget. Okay, we'll go with a Pierce. So Pierce... How did I forget about Pierce? Pierce works really well with Frank. They got the Cordelius to counter the Mortis. Who do they really go here? Who do they really go? Considering the Cord might be good into 2 of these matchups. Pierce is good into Poco as well, from what I've been watching in scrims. What do you actually go here? You could go... You don't want to break open the wall even more here to help them out. I was going to say like a Ruffs to feed Mortis infinite hypercharges into this Ruffs as well. Into this Frank. Maybe a... Okay, a Nita. Nita could be an interesting one. Nita's good into Cordelius and is actually good into Pierce because of the bear. But is it enough to stop the Frank? I'm not entirely convinced. And if the map gets opened up, like the whole composition of ABC could falter. So I don't know what to think of that. I don't know what I would have gone myself in that moment. Again, we needed some high burst damage here. But again, most burst damage has some type of wall break. Like again, I was thinking the Chester could have been good into that Frank, like an underrated one. Again, I'm going for like the brawler selection screen, and it's just not really a lot screaming out to me at all. But maybe in the first engagements, if ABC can get some good map control, then they can win this one. But it doesn't look very likely. Super kick going up to Suzuku, and that's already going to be the first goal. So yeah, Cordelius is starting to become back in the meta a little bit here. He was, I believe, at least for a good month, he was definitely trending downwards. But this last week, when people are looking for Mortis counters, I think Cordelius really only looks like the true counter there, because he got the mute against Mortis there, and a lot of brawlers just still can't deal with Mortis. And I think maybe as well, the reason why Cordelius is such a good Mortis counter is because Mortis can't use gadget in the Shadow Realm, and that's one big danger for Mortis, right? Because of that gadget that can confirm kills. So really good stun from IC there that gets the kill. It enables Kenji to get into the pocket, but a really bad wasted super there. And yeah, he's going to struggle to find the kill. So this is what I'm talking about. Like Nita, yeah, you might think has a decent matchup here, but once Frank starts opening up the map, it's just going to go from bad to worse for ABC. The only way they can win this is by getting that early lead, but Frank's just going to get more and more supers. It's just not looking good. They don't have the burst damage to really deal with it. But what do they actually go instead? Maybe someone in the comments can come up with a good draft here. Instead, again, I didn't really like Poco's good, but I didn't really find going Poco and Mortis together. That doesn't scream absolute damage. But if they've somehow pushed Zeta back all the way into spawn, I mean, Nita's in behind the pocket here. It's going to be a hypercharge to kill IC. And Suzuku actually manages to stay alive. Good kill from Kenji there. Gets the hypercharge as well. Can he chain it onto the Pierce? It looks like he can find a double kill. And here we go. ABC actually gets something cooking finally. But with overtime looming, it's going to get harder and harder for them to really find anything in them. So yeah, Mortis needs to get back on this Frank matchup. Cordelius is just going to follow the Frank as much as possible. This is actually going to allow Poco to get a lot of value, though, considering they're all grouping up. You can see here, Achapi is just looking to push forward. That's going to be a missed super from Batman there. Sitetampo is going to get the ball, but this is actually going to lead him in a really bad position. 12 seconds left. Sitetampo is really weak. He's going to go down here. Kenji should or get really close to finding the kill. That Shadow Realm's actually going to save IC there, and that actually might be a kill. I'm not too sure, but I think he's going to get traded out anyway by the Mortis, I believe. I mean, if he's got the gadget cooking, probably has. Okay, maybe not. Here comes Batman with some taps finally in overtime. That's going to be a slow into a Achapi super as well. Kenji's going to probably go down. He actually gets the kill onto Sitetampo, but Batman's going to find the super and score with ease. So a lot really going down there. I thought that Zeta looked like they were definitely in a bit of trouble then at the end, but I think there's just too much health. And once overtime looms, like, how can you really stop a Pierce? All Pierce needs to do is just hit some shots, hit some slows, and there's nothing that ABC can really do when that overtime. It's like B in overtime, right? If the map's fully open, what can you really do against a B? The same goes for Pierce because of those slows. So again, really hot start from Zeta. Like, the problem with ABC's composition again is that they don't have the damage without their supers. Like Nita without Bear, Mortis without supers. So the early engagements aren't looking good for them whatsoever. The slow and the super combination again from Batman. Kenji's getting some good value into the Frank, and they need to score here. Pierce is only one shot. He's just going to use the super on Pierce. I mean, that's probably just fair enough. I mean, they're probably going to score anyway, but with Poco, you get your super back so quickly. And this is much better from both teams here, but definitely from ABC to find the goal a lot earlier before the map is fully opened up. So hypercharge here from Nita. This could be good for them to get a lot of damage into the Frank. There we go. Looks like the Bears gonna put Pierce into spawn as well. Okay, ABC could win this. Surely they've got 3 players to the 2 in defense. Hypercharge. Frank is gonna be pretty scary though. Sitetampo using shield again. He really likes the shield on the Frank. I mean, that is a lot of health for a respawning Frank. The spectator forgot the ball is even up there. And looks like Zeta could be confirming that monthly final win here with a kill onto Poco. And that's gonna be the goal and the entire series going towards Zeta. So Zeta, I mean, I don't know what happened at the World Finals. I'd really like to know more. If you guys know more, if any of these guys have said anything about what happened at the World Finals, I'll be I want to know, basically, because it was just a mystery how Zeta flopped so hard at World Finals, considering they looked better than Crazy Raccoon all of last year. They won, I think, 4 monthly finals, which was more than Crazy Raccoon by far. So yeah, they're starting off this year hot as well. Yeah, Zeta, at least I got that prediction right, the overall monthly final. I mean, it wasn't the hardest prediction in the world, but I think a lot more people would have predicted Crazy Raccoon, considering they were the world champions. So if you want me to analyze how Crazy Raccoon lost, I will happily do that on the second channel. But yeah, that's going to be it. Congratulations to Zeta. They look very clean this time around. Their draft looks exceptional. The gameplay, the team play looks really strong as well. And yeah, I just didn't really like ABC's draft in that last Brawl Ball one and in a couple of them. Even though ABC's draft looked really hot all day, it just kind of faltered at the end. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.